Hello, everybody, and welcome to, me blowing out the microphone. I am Merawat. This is Reality Hacker, which is one of the 3 episodes of shows that make up the Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition over at ohmtown.com and here on Twitch and over on YouTube's. And I, along with the sentient AI from the future, well, we talk about 5 articles in each of these 3 shows. After Reality Hacker is Wanted, which is about gadgets and gear, and then the Continuity Report is about entertainment news. But Reality Hacker is about science and technology, but it's a focus on things that basically make you question reality. So we're going to talk about Pizza. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Pizza AI. But I merged it together. Anyway, virtual breathing coach, Twitch face recognition, AR virtual support, and lab-grown blood vessels. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com. So hang out here and chat with us in Twitch or chat with us in the live broadcast over on YouTube. And hope to see you around. All right, let's get going. All right, folks. Hello, sentient AI.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmtown citizens.
You ready to get right on into this? And we're going to bang out these 3 shows, which will eventually get merged into one Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition.
I am.
So if you want just the podcast edition of each of these shows, you can just do a search on, well, wherever you catch pod. And that is where ohmtown will be. But there are 6 weekend or weekly shows, and they all take place on the weekend. And then one daily show, which goes Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it's the compilation of the 3 shows for Saturday and 3 shows for Sunday. If you want to know more, be sure to follow us. Then go over to YouTube, where all 1,800 episodes of all of the shows are stored. It's all 1,800 combined. Okay. Non Sequitur News just started its 4th season, and the other 6 shows are starting their 2nd season. Let's get going. First article's over in Reality Hacker. Your pizza guy is now AI. You've probably encountered AI-powered customer service chatbots. Now say hello to AI salespeople. Wired.com.
I think we have enough people that are salespeople. Now this could be exponential.
Well, you don't need salespeople if your AI has scraped all of humanity and turned it into itself, AI, into humanity. It's a humanity AI turducken, or Ouroboros, the snake eating itself. You've probably encountered AI-powered customer service chatbots. Now say hello to AI salespeople. The chatbot's name is Jimmy the Surfer, a nod to a recurring character from the company's old TV commercials. It says, Pizza night, don't open Uber Eats or DoorDash, the 44-year-old California chain called Pizza My Heart now lets you text a number and chat with an artificial intelligence.
Oh, is that so you can place your order?
Yep. They texted Jimmy and asked if they could order a pineapple and anchovy pizza, and then followed up with asking if it was a good combo. And it says pineapples and anchovies can make a bold combination. It's all about the mix of sweet and salty flavors. No. Some folks dig it while others have different tastes. Decidedly different tastes here. Decidedly disgusting.
That's kind of a non-committal answer. That should be like, nope, that's just wrong.
Oh, they even mention it. A political answer. Yeah. So I'm like noodling around with DeepSeek, and I'm trying to kind of puncture its safety protocols, because I want it. It says that it's going to offer up honest and transparent answers, but I've already seen the bias in it, so I find it quite entertaining to noodle around with sociological mechanisms and psychological mechanisms within it.
Well, I mean, every system's going to have a bias of whatever or whomever programmed it or what data went in.
Right.
But I think given the origin, we can expect a specific or some specific biases.
Yeah, and that's really interesting that you mentioned this, because a lot of people are like, well, it was distilled from OpenAI. That's the new argument. Oh, by the way, if you want to get today's articles, bang NSN over in Twitch.tv's chat. It's all of today's shows are already in the description in the show notes for the live broadcast over on Twitch, but bang NSN on Twitch will get you the articles. Anyway, so a lot of people have been reporting that OpenAI was the source for the DeepSeek data, and it's just distilled from the DeepSeek, or distilled from OpenAI by scrubbing it, basically, or not really scrubbing it, scraping it. Query after query, apparently, and then it was concentrated into what is DeepSeek. How they didn't know that there was a contingent of remote accesses, I don't know. But anyway, my point is, DeepSeek is said to be distilled from OpenAI, and somebody reported that when they noodled around with the data, it spit out a response saying that its developers were OpenAI. Well, I asked for a bunch of information from DeepSeek, and that's not what it spit out to me. It said that it was from DeepSeek. Now, maybe I have a distilled LLM or a distilled model.
Or it's been programmed to answer that.
Well, arguably, they said that the people who said that it spit out that it was programmed by OpenAI, they theoretically got it straight from DeepSeek, right? But it took me a day later to get the model, so who knows? Well, this chatbot experience that they're talking about with this Pizza AI lives alongside several others in a way to order the pizza chain delivery, blah, blah, blah. But Polona AI, the company whose technology powers Jimmy, believes its solution can alleviate work for people in the store, make the ordering experience richer for the customer, and help brands form a deeper bond with their clientele. Nothing says building a bond with your clientele like putting an impersonal AI at the front desk.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about the old commercial with the phone tree frustration. This is just going to be interesting.
Well, we are sliding down this slippery slope anyway. Like, I really like AI because it allows me to do things creatively, but I will never trust it in any way, shape, or form for subject matter expertise in any way without me having to do the same level of due diligence necessary to basically make myself a subject matter expert. So, Shang says that Polona AI is already in use with a small business called Mind Zero. That sounds very familiar. Mind Zero. Anyway, a contrast therapy spa in South Carolina, and will soon be deployed on the website of Wise, the company known for its affordable security cameras. The author of this, again, it's Julian Chikatu over at Wired.com, put this article together, says that they tried it. And the experience with Mind Zero's chatbot, which is accessible if you directly message the brand on Instagram. That's the thing about Polona. It can take various forms depending on the brand's needs. For Wise, it'll appear as a little chat window in the company's homepage. For Pizza My Heart, there's a dedicated number you can text or call. For Mind Zero, it's injected into the company's DMs.
So if you're trying to order a pizza, do you think it's going to be responding with the wrong service or whatever?
With therapy, yeah.
Yeah.
Says that includes, can I be naked in the sauna? Which Shang posits is a question someone might have felt a little awkward to ask a real human, but had no such qualm asking over Instagram. Well, that's probably because they're a numbskull who believes that information is private, confidential, and isn't going to be exposed at some point. Well, that's not true, because an AI that was developed to be a computer girlfriend basically was breached, and all of their private information communications was exposed to the world, compromising everybody who might have used it. Found that one kind of fascinating. So
Yeah, I think
Kelowna,
there's more risk of that if the system is collecting your information, but I do think the wrong person getting your information could be releasing it as well.
yeah, exactly. And people who have a political or some other agenda, let's just say agenda, will do exactly that. They'll release it to make you compromised, and then you are on your heels trying to defend yourself against, the fact that you're a My Little Pony fan, aka Brony. Anyway, Wise's chatbot is personified as a wizard, so its responses are on theme. When they asked what the best security camera was, it says, "Let me guide you through some enchanting options." That is so just boorish. So when I asked if the Nest Cam is better, the Wise Wizard offered up pros of the Wise Cam V4 and a few for the Nest Cam, but ultimately said that the Nest has a heftier price. And ultimately, if you're seeking magical protection without breaking the bank, Wise Cam V4 stands out as a beloved choice by many. Yeah. So obviously the internal bias, it's there to, pimp its own stuff.
To sell you, right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but anybody asking that question should also, it's the same thing if you were asking a salesperson. If they're on commission for one product or they're sending you to a competitor store, I mean, we can kind of guess how many people, not all, would answer.
And therein lies the rub. A salesperson is making a commission. An AI bot is making a sale on behalf of the company, removing the fiduciary element to a human being and delivering it directly to the company and by proxy to human beings. So the executive suite and investors benefit, but you're losing a job. And what is a company without humans? It's just a bunch of AI, right?
Right. It's not really much of anything, except it still is. But
what is the good that it's actually doing? When we get into the business aspects of these things in another show at another time, we'll talk about that kind of stuff. But got to think about this. Why do you have a company if you're selling products to people, but the only thing that it's actually benefiting is just the executive suite and the investors? You don't have any humans in there. Seems like all it's doing is selling stuff, but it's not helping out humanity in any way. It's not doing a greater good. It's not facilitating anything other than consumption. Maybe that's what the objective is. Get rid of the humans, except for the executive suite. Good job, AI. You've scrubbed humanity from the map. But who is going to be able to afford it if they don't have jobs? Oh, they'll find jobs somewhere else.
Wow, that's right. It's going to be hard to sell products to people without any income.
Yeah. Let's move on. The next article is over on RealityHacker. A study using virtual breathing coach indicates that it's as effective as a human trainer. So now all I have to do is use my smartwatch instead of having a human trainer. Study suggests that a computer-generated breathing coach could be as effective as sessions with a human trainer. So we've eliminated the human again.
Telling humans how to be humans.
Correct. Which actually goes to a point that I make when I give a talk, wherein I ask the question, where is it that technology cannot go? And up until last year, I would have said technology can't teach a human to be human. Well, that's no longer.
That seems to be changing, right?
Correct. Yeah. Dramatically faster than I ever thought would be possible. Study suggests that a computer-generated breathing coach could be as effective as sessions with a human trainer. Aston University is the source of this. It's published over at ScienceDaily.com. And so they say a breathwork trainer, which it's kind of like, what is it for AI? The person that writes the,
A programmer?
yeah, but there's a person that writes the command to tell the AI to construct something. What is it?
Prompt engineer?
Prompt engineer. Thank you. The breathwork trainer is akin to prompt engineer. Although there are people that are skilled in the art of creating a prompt, but it's something that you can literally cut and paste at some point. Why? Because everybody's putting it into the AI, so the AI is learning it, and then it can output simply by saying, hey, what's the most popular prompt? Oh, okay, here, let me give it to you. Anyway, however, a new research paper indicates that the individuals would be as comfortable being guided by an on-screen virtual reality coach as by a trained professional. And I have no no reservations as to, yeah, I'm pretty sure that a person would accept a VR coach or an AR coach.
They might actually prefer that.
Why would not? I can do the exercise in my bedroom, or naked in the living room, or whatever I want to do anywhere. If the virtual reality or augmented reality, and I really would prefer augmented reality, on screen I can see the world, I can interact, and so on and so forth. But so I put those glasses on hold, by the way, just so everybody knows. I'm waiting for the X-Real 1 Pros to be released, and then I'll revisit it at another time to see if they meet the expectations that I had set up. So we'll see. Researchers wanted to investigate both the perception of the virtual coach and evaluate its usability as an alternative to training provided by a human. They developed an online system where the virtual coach guides the user's breathing through a set of established exercises that can be done at home. And the VR instructor, which appears on screen, was given a human appearance and voice and displayed breathing movements of the chest and head.
Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if it's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. So again, AR would be better than VR. You don't have this big old strap and whatever. That actually dried my throat out.
You need the AI breathing coach.
Yeah, not only does it tell you to breathe, but then it says drink. Don't breathe and drink, otherwise you'll drown in your living room. Anyway, people are concerned about accessibility to healthcare due to its high cost and availability of trained experts. And that's one of the things that I've talked about with people. You can basically enumerate these things, physical therapy, for instance, and the kinesiology involved in physical therapy can be mapped using technology. And when it's out of alignment, the AI or the machine learning system can go, you need to adjust this, that, and the other.
Right. I think we saw that, although for different purposes, with ballet dancers, but I don't know if it was for the same purpose.
Yeah. And it's taking place with all sports, really. Swing coaches are now, baseball swing coaches are now AI and machine learning, and it's making you adapt and telling you what to do and stuff like that immediately, and you don't require a human being. Anyway, interesting paper, right? Oh, and for the record, this is actually by Sanobar Dar, Eniko Eckert, and Ulysses Bernadette. Usability, acceptance, and the role of realism in virtual humans for breathing exercise training from Scientific Reports, and it was published right here in 2025. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
Not much more that AI can't get into.
No, but it is. And we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. Corporations have much more invested in this, and the diversification of AI's application is theirs to deliver, because regular old Joes aren't able to send their AI into work for them. But a corporation using the previous work of the humans prior to the AI can certainly replace the human with AI. As you can see with the previous article, your pizza is being replaced, your tech support is being replaced, your sales support is being replaced.
Your therapy of some kind.
Your breathing coach.
Health and fitness.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's move on. The next article is over on RealityHacker. The Twitch streamer using face recognition to make video games more accessible. For years, a Twitch streamer named Valentine Squirello has been seeking new ways players with disabilities can enjoy games without expensive hardware. Now he and his community of fans have invented a solution. Hopefully this will allow me to keep talking about it. No, not really. Doggone it. So they've basically worked on face recognition program that allows disabled individuals to control game inputs through face expressions. For Squirello and his community, the program, dubbed Playability, was the answer to the limitations of accessible hardware. So depending on how a person moves their face, it controls the device.
Do you think this continues to go further toward AI? Like somehow there's is it going directly from the human into the computer, or is it going from human to computer to computer? So we don't know.
Let's see here.
For instance, is it taking a photo or a model or something of the person, and then that translates into something?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the process is. I wish I could. I can't log into this. But they have a link to playability.gg, which is a domain name, playability.gg, that enumerates what goes on with this. But odds on there is a plugin within the computer that taps into a camera that monitors a person's facial expressions, and through that allows them to run the game. Yeah, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't log in while we're
all I know is that it converts the expressions into various commands within the game, but I don't know exactly how it does that.
So odds on it's face recognition. So computer vision is pretty sophisticated nowadays, and it can see minor modifications in a person's facial expression, and then it sends a command to the game so that it does whatever it needs to do based on that expression. So pretty cool. Let's keep going. The next article is over in RealityHacker. Splashtop releases AR virtual support system, which sounds like something we've just got done talking about.
Oh, right.
In a move that could reshape industrial maintenance, Splashtop has just released an AR remote support system, which works with RealWear smart glasses, announced January 28th, 2025. This is a bold play by Splashtop to make hazardous work environments significantly safer. Splashtop already had significant market presence, serving over 30 million users and 250,000 businesses, including 85% of Fortune 500 enterprises, which is an amazing amount. Because I've heard of Splashtop, but I didn't know that they were actually that big. The article is over at xrtoday.com. Did I say who that last one was from? Sorry.
I think so.
The Twitch streamer using face recognition to make video games more accessible article is at Wired, and it's written by Grant Stoner. All right. Well, this article about Splashtop is a collaboration with RealWear smart glasses aims to make dangerous work environments safer via remote support. So it's written by Luke Williams, and it's over at xrtoday.com. The key features of this is that it has two-way AR, augmented reality. Annotations enable remote experts to draw and highlight directly on the worker's field of view. Real-time camera sharing with integrated voice over internet protocol communications ensures clear communication. Secure file transfer system offers shared technical documentation and instructions. Remote flashlight control for improved visibility in low light conditions, which just seems weird. Because if you're the person on that other end of this and suddenly a light turns on, I think that you'd be kind of caught off guard by it. But hey.
Yeah, just a bit, which could be a safety issue.
And then session recording capabilities for training, documentation, and audit purposes, just in case the person screws up one way or the other, I suppose. So they refer to safety first, industrial applications, and the platform tackles OSHA compliance head on, making hazard identification as simple as looking and speaking to the assistant. But the lag, I don't really agree with this.
Yeah, that could be an issue because if you're supposed to be like pressing a button or something, and then it's like, no, the one to the left, but they've already moved over or whatever.
5 seconds is a significant amount of time in a hazardous environment. You don't have time to wait for the real-time response from somebody. But they say industrial applications, and this must be working because they're saying that they've got 30 million users, but I don't know how that really
but what are the
out.
statistics once they're deployed?
Right. Yeah, 250,000 businesses, including 85% of Fortune 500 enterprises. I'm not sure. 250,000 businesses.
That's a lot of businesses.
It is. Quite fascinating. The hands-free nature of the system makes it particularly vulnerable to industrial settings where workers need both hands for complex tasks. Remote experts can guide repairs as if they're standing right there with the wearer, potentially saving hours or even days of costly downtime. But if the person isn't competent enough, accidents happen. I'm really curious what this is used for.
And this can't substitute for somebody's expertise.
Yeah, live skill. I mean, that's why you have knowledge, skills, and abilities. That's why you develop your training. So they say their verdict is that the 70% safety improvement claim is bold and needs some real-world validation. But even if the actual number lands lower, Splashtop's augmented reality integration with RealWare shows genuine promise for industrial operations. It's not just about tech.
It does, but they have to be careful because if it looks like it's X amount safer or something and they're relying on that, then that could actually make it less safe.
Yeah, there's an expectation of performance. Yeah. Let's keep going. We've got one more article for today's show, and this one's over on RealityHacker. This blood vessel was grown in a lab with real human cells. You won't know where it's from, but you'll know that it's made from real human cells. So like when you buy these so that you can get your blood vessels replaced, it has a little stamp that says made with real human cells, like real juice.
Well, right. And is it at some point, is it like that ship question, right? Like if all of it's replaced?
Yeah. Are you still you? So the FDA recently approved a bioengineered blood vessel, which becomes part of a patient's body over time. It's designed to help treat victims of traumatic injuries. I love the idea of this. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get into it because it says that I've read the complimentary story. So let's see if I can. Yeah, it just keeps blocking me, which really sucks. But anyway, you can go there and check it all out. Unfortunately, I can't. For whatever reason, the article kind of, that's a risky click there. Jesus, that is just horrible. At any rate.
Well, let me wait. Hold on just a minute. So this can certainly help, like if somebody's in an accident or has an injury, because you can't always have a viable vein,
right?
Which can be pretty significant. And then this all came about because the person was a physician and could see when patients ran into problems, essentially.
Gotcha. Yeah, pretty cool. Let me see. Yeah, I won't be able to. I would have to log in, and I haven't logged in before the show. So anyway, yeah, it won't let me refresh and see any of it. Well, there you go, though. A bioengineered blood vessel becomes part of the patient's body over time, and it's designed to help treat victims of traumatic injuries. So there you have it. So we're going to jump into that little artery right there and bounce back to Reality Hacker's front page at ohmtown.com. Go over and you too can follow the links through ohmtown over to the sources that are aggregated into the news. For me to manage my information overload, ohmtown was created. You can use it too. I opened it up back in 2022.
2020.
Was it 2020? Oh, this is the fourth year. I mean, we're in the fourth year. So yeah, go over and check it all out. It's got 50 channels, 7 of which become shows here on ohmtown on twitch.tv/ohmtown and youtube.com/ohmtown. And we do the show live every day, either on the weekend at around 4 o'clock. We have some delays because we're in the middle of a project. And at around 7 o'clock. But you need to follow us to know exactly when we go live, because we basically go live and start talking about the news. That said, I am out of here. I'm going to take the AI with me. You want to say bye?
Bye, ohmtown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Reality Hacker. We'll have another episode next week, but stay tuned for the rest of our weekly shows.
See you soon, everybody. I hope everybody can hear that music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wanted, a gadgets and gear show hosted here at ohmtown.com and hosted on live at twitch.tv/ohmtown and youtube.com/ohmtown. In all of those places, you can become a fan. Follow us here, there, everywhere. Download the podcasts. So much stuff. All of it brought to you by ohmtown.com. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the Sentient AI, we are going to talk about these 5 articles that get aggregated into ohmtown.com. Pick your buttons to push. Private sonic boom. I do those periodically. Hook on gaming phones. Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And Kindle-like smartphone. It's plural, actually, but we'll talk about it on the other side. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com, like I've been mentioning, almost like an ohmtown.com turducken. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmtown citizens.
If you're not a subscriber, you're about to get hit by an ad. All right. Well, welcome to the show, co-host. Are you ready to get into these 5 articles?
I am. Let's go.
Okay, so this is the second show of 3 that we do on the weekends on Saturday. The first one is...
Okay, we start with Reality Hacker, then we have Wanted, and then we have the Continuity Report.
There you go. So Wanted is about gadgets and gear. Reality Hacker is about AR, AI, technology that makes you question reality because you hack it. And finally, we end the day with the Continuity Report, which is about entertainment news. So we've got 5 articles that were submitted or selected by the AI, myself, or someone else that may have submitted it via a little page right here that says, it's not here unless you're logged in, and I'm not logged in. But anyway, once you're a citizen, you can actually submit news to us. We'll evaluate it and include it in the daily, because we do this every day, Monday through Friday, Non Sequitur news, and then on the weekend we do 3 shows, the topics that we just mentioned, and then on Sunday we do 3 different shows. All right, let's get into this. I want stuff. I won't buy stuff, but I want stuff.
Hence Wanted.
Hence Wanted. So Logitech MX Creative Console review. Pick your own buttons. At least for now, your laptop or custom or desktop computer is inherently more capable than a smartphone or tablet. I don't agree with that statement. But anyway, what you lose, sticking to the classics, is a lot of interface simplicity of a phone. Using a desktop computer to its fullest means getting comfortable with keyboard shortcuts, especially if you plan on using any kind of professional creative software. That is, unless you have a macro pad. One moment. Oh, did I just disable something? Yeah. So
For
all
those
of
in
those.
the podcast, that was just shown.
Oh yeah, I was showing a macro pad. It's actually what I just showed was the 10 key of a 10 keyless keyboard, because that is a 10 keyless keyboard. So I use my macro pad, and I can program all of those buttons to do pretty much anything that I want. You just have to remember what they do. That's why you have things like a Stream Deck, where you can see an icon that represents a function, and it makes life easier for streaming, and that right there. So this too is a macro pad. You basically can program it to do whatever you want. Ian Carlos Campbell over at pocket-lint.com, whoever it is that owns pocket-lint.com, please donate pocket-lint.com to pocket-lint.com. That would be great.
That's right. That way Mayor Watt will not be driven nuts by the Dash.
Correct. Dashes drive me nuts. So, and I think there's a Dash car out there. That too drives me nuts. People dashing drive me nuts. I don't understand what it is, but anyway, don't dash. Everything should slow down. Slow down. Anyway, so at least for now, your laptop has all of this limitation. So you get a macro pad, or shortcut keyboards, keypads, have existed for ages. Whoa. Sorry. I'm working with an AI, and it actually just popped up something. Well, they burst into the mainstream during the pandemic work from home era, though largely thanks to the popularity of the Stream Deck, which is sitting right here, which was designed first and foremost for controlling live streams, but whose buttons could be customized to work with a bunch of other different applications. You actually get an interface where you can drag and drop a bunch of functionality. Logitech's MX Creative Console is a 1-2 punch meant to address the popularity of the Stream Deck. The company acquired competitor Loupedeck in 2023, seemingly with the same motivation. So Loupedeck is basically Stream Deck, just a different company.
Oh, okay, just a different company, right?
Yeah. And so they actually show like an interface, and each of these buttons on this 3x3 pad, plus I think page turning, I haven't seen it. They go by Logi now, or Logitech actually has a...
Oh, right, yeah, they have a shortened form.
Yeah, as if they were Federal Express and needed to change to FedEx.
Maybe they were trying to save on all their painting of airplanes.
Sure. I'll just give that to you. Well, they say the price, availability, and specs of this essentially Loupedeck version of the Stream Deck Neo Logitech MX Creative Console launched September 24, 2024 for $200, a higher price than the $100 you pay for the entry-level Stream Deck Neo, which was actually a fairly new entrant. The Neo line is a watered-down version of...
Oh, okay, because I was surprised that a competitor might come out with a higher price, but that makes sense. Those aren't comparable.
Not directly, no, but you can page over and get the same functionality and stuff like that. So part of the justification of the MX Creative's console's higher price is that you're actually getting two different devices for one purchase: a Stream Deck-esque keypad with 9 square buttons in the center and page forward and page back buttons, so you can flip to others. There's usually a lag in all of that. Stream Deck has the same thing, like I use Beacon as well, and Beacon has this little lag between flipping to other inputs. These devices have to interact with software on the system and then bounce back. So the dial pad works over Bluetooth and has 2 rechargeable AAA batteries, and you can charge with a USB-C cable, while the keypad needs to be wired to your computer to work, also over USB-C. The dial pad is this little thing right here. So you can program
I find it interesting that one's wireless and one's not.
Yeah, this is basically a potentiometer that says, oh, you're turning it this way, turning it that way. So it's kind of low energy, whereas the other one is actually lighting up, providing power to each individual.
It might be more connected to specific applications or something.
Yeah, and you want it to respond faster than Bluetooth, because any delay when you hit a button means that you could be sitting there picking your nose when you're doing a transition, when you really want it to say end streaming. I know nothing about that.
That's hyper specific.
Yeah, that I don't want to talk about it. So they basically say they're mostly made of plastic, save for the dial pad's cool metal dial. They feel sturdy and have satisfying clicky buttons. That's basically the end game for me. Gotta be metal and clicky. But if it's mostly plastic, it drives me a little crazy too. Hold on a second. Oh, it must be.
Yeah, but most of them are made of plastic, I think.
Where the heck did I put my other keyboard? I have a little 40% keyboard somewhere. The heck?
Marijuana.
Anyway. What? Oh, sorry. Anyway, so they talk about what they liked about the MX Creative Console. It's fun and convenient to push buttons. I agree. The objective here is basically to make life easier. If you know that you're going to record something, if you know that you're going to scrub something. So let me, can I not go back except that way? Why not put forward and back buttons here, for crying out loud? Anyway, this button here, you can connect it to a piece of software like video editing or music editing. And when you turn the dial, you're scrubbing through the video or the audio, and then you can splice things, cut things, edit things.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be pretty handy.
Pretty cool, right? Like I would link this button here, which is a scroll wheel, so that I can amplify music or amplify the audio track in a video, so that everything is peaking at the precise point where I want it to. So you don't ever start your stream or end your stream or post a video without it hitting the peaks that you want. And obviously I think this person has no, they don't. Okay. I thought they might have my keyboard sitting on there. No. Anyway, so the objective of this one is you can program it in sets of 9x9 to do whatever you need. So if you are going to stream, you put it on the 9x9. That's for your streaming. And you don't have to click buttons. Like I, right now, have to click a bunch of buttons because I'm using Atom. And Atom right now isn't linked to my Stream Deck, but transitions are. So I just do transitions, and then I have to manually end my stream. That's temporary. But once you have it programmed in, the macro pad makes life easier. You can just mash the button, and off you go.
Could you hook up more than one of those?
Yes. Yeah, you just select them. Well, at least for the Stream Deck. I haven't used the Creative Console, but for the Stream Deck, I can select which one is being edited and reprogram each one separately. And there's like the Stream Deck. I even have a little foot pedal down below with 3 functions, and those 3 functions can actually be stacked within each of those functions. So I can have a whole bunch of commands, like I have them turn off lights and do other transitions and stuff like that. So you never see I can do stuff. I'll give you a demonstration.
For those in the podcast, the intro or outro just played.
Yeah. So anyway, these are actually pretty amazing tools if you are seeking to make your life easier. You don't want to futz around with keyboard commands, and you want to do more complex things with a button click away. So definitely get into these. Let's just move on. Let's go on to the next thing because we've said too much about this already.
We really want that.
Yeah, I do. I love that kind of stuff, and I'm just glad that I've already got it so that I don't have to mess with it again with somebody, a new platform. Although Logitech, if you want to send me some, I'll noodle around with it. I have no problem. Anyway, the next article, but I'm going to give my honest opinion of it. I mean, right off the bat, I don't really like that it's just grayscale. It looks like it's just grayscale. I can do full color on my Stream Deck. And that actually allows me to set things like a bright red command that says that I'm streaming or whatever. Like right now, my Stream Deck is saying that I'm on this scene. And when I want to, I can push another button and it'll transition to another scene, and it'll let me know that that's top. Anyway, so this next article that we're talking about is over in Wanted as well. For the first time, a privately developed aircraft has flown faster than sound. But I thought that, what was it? There was a passenger jet that flew.
Yeah, but that was due to climate change, and that wasn't privately developed.
Well, wait. I'm not sure about the climate change part of it, but what was the name of the jet? What was it called? Hold on.
It was a commercial airline.
Are you saying that this is like a regular old person?
Well, it might be a company or something, but yes. This is not like pick a major airline.
Oh, Concorde. Sorry, for the name slipped my mind, and I was really curious about this. So it says, for the first time, a privately developed aircraft has flown faster than sound. High above a barren California desert on Tuesday, a privately developed aircraft broke the sound barrier for the first time when Boom Supersonic's XB-1 demonstrator reached Mach 1.122. Piloted by a former U.S. Navy aviator, Tristan Geppetto Brandenburg, the XB-1 broke the supersonic barrier on 3 separate occasions before safely landing back at the Mojave Air and Spaceport, where it had taken off half an hour earlier. Let's go over to the source of this. Eric Berger for Ars Technica put the article together. If you need to go and do something, go for it. So there appears to be plenty of demand in the commercial air travel industry. So a small band of talented and dedicated engineers has accomplished what previously took governments and billions of dollars, said Boom Supersonic's founder and chief executive Blake Scholl in a statement. I always take exception to that kind of stuff because it is the foundation, where we stand on the shoulders of giants to get shit done cheaper and with greater expectation of performance based on the science that somebody else has fundamentally done. Otherwise, you would need billions of dollars. It's a whole lot easier to build something. Like I said in a previous show, if somebody builds all of the doors and does all of the metallurgy and blah, 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 all you have to do is bolt it together. You got a damn car. Yeah, it's really freaking easy. So, yes, I also believe that a small band of talented and dedicated engineers can accomplish amazing things. But let's not pretend that this was done in a vacuum of
it's not
empirical
like
knowledge.
Flight or something.
Right.
It's still cool, and I do like the name.
Yeah, I like it too. So this prototype vehicle is a 1/3 scale technology demonstrator for a commercial aircraft the company is developing called Overture. Planned specifications for the supersonic airliner include a cruising speed of Mach 1.7 and a maximum speed of Mach 2.2, and it's intended to have a maximum range of 4,500 miles or 7,200 kilometers and carry 55 passengers, similar to the Concorde.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right? So hold on. One second. They refer to the Concorde as tailless, but it's not tailless. It has a tail. It's weird. Anyway, I'm trying to find the number of people that it could actually fly. 92 to 128 passengers, depending on how they were seated.
And I didn't know that. I assumed it was a much higher number, but I guess that makes sense given when it was developed.
Yeah. And it was a France and UK British Aircraft Corporation and BAE Systems development. So this was back in 1965 to 1979. So yes, previously took governments billions of dollars. Yeah, no shit. You know, you're nearly 60 years later. Yeah. Just like AI, just got a whole lot less expensive because somebody else distilled the hundreds of millions of dollars that people invested in the empirical research generators of OpenAI, who distilled all of humanity's creative efforts from history without paying people. Anyway, they say it's a stepping stone. The prototype is that 1/3 scale model. Commercial companies are attempting to revive an era of supersonic travel that came and went decades ago. French and British governments jointly developed the Concorde aircraft in the 1960s, and the Soviet Union developed the Tupolev, a supersonic aircraft, around the same time. Of course, everybody does it together, right? Because we're working all together to build a better human. Oh, never mind. Anyway.
So do you want this aircraft?
Yes. Why? Because I want to go to Europe like that instead of it taking 24 hours. Plain and simple.
I mean, that's reasonable.
But this will be dramatically more expensive than the Concorde and very, very limited. Although, let me see. I'm trying to find out how much the flights were, but I won't be able to do it justice because you'll have to account for the time value. So anyway, I think that it's great. I absolutely love it, but I don't like the implication that this is something never before seen in humanity.
So in the 1990s, the price was around $7,500.
Yeah, $5,000.
Which is a much higher price now, adjusted.
Right.
But it's still pretty pricey then.
Yeah. And this is just a technology demonstrator. So when it does scale up, all of this money that they've invested in this, and they haven't said how much money they've invested in this. Let me see.
But it looks like major airlines, if I read that correctly at the bottom, are taking orders for this. So at some point that might make this more accessible to people, but it's still not going to be cheap.
Sure. Yeah. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over in the Wanted channel as well. These 7 unique features have hooked me on gaming phones. Regular flagship smartphones are excellent. Not me, but the author of this article. And that they're over at Pocket-Lint, but we'll get there in a minute. Regular flagship smartphones are excellent for gaming, but specialized gaming phones are like the Nubia Red Magic 10 Pro and the Asus ROG. ROG stands for Republic of Gamers Phone 9. Go the extra mile to provide top-tier experience. They use the same premium Snapdragon chips with as much power as flagships like the Samsung's Galaxy S25 line, but add several enhancements to improve gaming performance. The article, again, is over at pocket-lint.com. Saeed Wazir put the article together, and it says here, high refresh rate displays on gaming phones provide smoother graphics for demanding gamers. Gaming phones feature advanced cooling systems, large batteries, and fast charging for uninterrupted playtime. And gaming phones offer shoulder triggers for added control. So when you're holding the phone, shoulder triggers are like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know there were gaming phones.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know people sometimes play a game on their phone, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they're normally designed to be facilitators of gaming, right? So they have buttons up at the corners here. So when you're holding it in landscape,
probably in more convenient locations than you might on a regular phone.
Yeah. And so they talk about shoulder triggers are more useful than you think. Use your phone like a gamepad. High refresh rate displays make everything feel snappy. Most people won't even recognize anything over 30. You can get up to 60 real easy, and maybe if you've trained yourself to detect something.
They probably only notice the other direction, right? Like compared to some low-end regular phone, maybe.
Yeah, put it side by side and you'll notice. But you've got basically a 50-50 chance of guessing that it's lower or not. And it's the same thing with audio files. It's very few and far between that somebody who claims that they're an audiophile actually can tell the difference between a low-end cable and a $10,000 cable. And this has been demonstrated time and time again. But that's not to say that you can't be trained to take advantage of a higher end refresh rate. And the way that I describe it is that it's like a flip book. And if you only have 30 bytes at the apple of the flip book, then you see the staccato movement of the character. But if you have 120 pages in the flip book, then there's more opportunity for you to detect a subtle difference and react faster.
Right. Doesn't mean that any given person will.
Right. So if you're a highly competitive gamer, then maybe you can take advantage of it. But most people wouldn't even give a shit. Pardon my language. We're trying to be family friendly, but I really screwed that up. So a 3.5 millimeter audio jack remains a convenient option. I won't even go there. Bluetooth is good enough. Advanced cooling features keep your hands or keep the device chilled, keep your hands sweaty. So basically, you just clap on a device that is either water cooled or air cooled with a big ass fan, and it, that's what I do. I like to play games on my phone and then slap on a ginormous cooling system.
Well, that might be less expensive than doing it on a larger system.
Yeah, and you can't be mobile if you're carrying around your $10,000 computer with liquid cooling and 1,200 watt power supply. You need a small nuclear reactor. So bigger batteries mean that you can play it longer, and faster charging means that you can get back into the game quicker, or just not bother. You just plug in and your battery doesn't drain and it's charging at 100 watts. Every once in a while you unplug it if you want to have to go somewhere else. That's what I do. I actually carry around a 15-foot USB-C cable and a 100 watt wall wart, so I can just plug it in and I'm charging my device, and it's because it's basically the equivalent of a supercharger. I'm up and running a lot faster. So anyway, they talk about this stuff. They even mention 100 watt top charging speed, which can top up its massive battery in around 30 minutes. Yeah, it takes about an hour for mine. But I think everything should be this. I mean, we should really be, it's the 21st century. We should really be fast charging everything and not worrying about, the minuscule cost difference between one charging system and another in today's day and age. And then they talk about high memory capacity ensures a smooth experience. So you need more RAM to store software in the system. I'm kind of dealing with this with that DeepSeek R1 671 billion parameter model, because it's 405 gigs. And so that's actually how much RAM you should have in your device.
Yeah, so that's a little challenging.
On a personal PC, yeah. So you need server grade if you really want to take advantage of it. You can get distilled versions, which are quite intriguing to interrogate. It's pretty fun. Anyway, there you go, folks. I won't get into the prices because they're going to be relative to either your location geographically or fiscally, your socioeconomic status. I don't want to recommend a phone or a device. I'll talk about it, but I won't say, hey, you really should get this. That's just not what we're here for. We want a gaming device, a gaming phone. But the only thing that
I
really...
especially like this. This is easier for me to use than a desktop.
For sure. Yep. Plus, I can just transfer your artificial intelligence straight onto it, and I can just set it in its stand.
Exactly.
And you can play games all day. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you don't even need those shoulder buttons because you're like, nah, I'm in the game. I am the game.
Watch out.
Yeah, you're just a tourist. I was born here. All right, let's move on. The next article is over on Four Wheel Tech, which is another show, but that's on Sundays. Driving the Ford Mustang Dark Horse R makes every other pony feel tame. Hopefully they return to their old roots. I haven't actually seen this car yet. Charlotte, North Carolina is where this takes place. Apparently it's amazing how much more raucous you can make your car feel simply by deleting every semblance of creature comfort. That's the basic idea of the Mustang Dark Horse R, a track-only flavor of the Mustang for the dedicated Mustang Challenge series, which will run in support of the IMSA races this year, starting with the 12 hours of Sebring in March, despite running the same 500 horsepower 5.0 liter Coyote engine. This thing apparently has everything else removed from it as a creature comfort. So Ars Technica...
So it's not going to have like soft seats or anything?
Air conditioning, stuff like that? No. Tim Stevens over at ArsTechnica.com put the article together, and they say that they try Ford's latest track-only Mustang. Kind of looks like a Mustang, maybe. It looks more like a Camaro to me.
It does look more like a Camaro, but at least it doesn't look like their EV that does not look like a sports car of any kind.
Yeah, Mustang E. So it says it all looks pretty tame from the outside as it sports the familiar Mustang shape that has hardly changed over the last few generations. The last few, as in maybe the last two. Even the wing is slender by race car standards, only subtly different from the one that's on the road-going Dark Horse. But you peek inside, and it's basically gutted. Nothing is there.
Oh, yeah. It is pretty bare bones.
Yep. Wow. If you drive this in the snow, you'll really feel the weather. Because all that metal.
Right, exactly. It's going to be a little chilly.
Plus, if you're the passenger, I don't know what that is right there. That must be like a telemetry device. It looks like it might be a radio. It's not a battery, I don't think. Anyway, don't get distracted, Merwatt. Anyway, the engine may be stock, but it sure doesn't sound like it. With all the interior trimmings evicted and the track-only Borla exhaust fitted, the car becomes a deafening echo chamber when its Coyote is breathing. Given that its roots is in a road car, the 5.0 liter offers a smooth idle, but you can still feel it deep in your body, communicated up through the full Recaro racing seat. So this thing right here, 5-point racing harness. You're basically trapped in it. It doesn't have any creature comforts. It just pins you in so that you can't be thrown around when you're driving.
Right, so it might sound good. You might go fast. You're not going to be super comfortable.
You're not going to be comfortable. Not even super comfortable. So you're just not going to be comfortable. So needless to say, the experience left them wanting more because they really like the power of a 500 horsepower engine driving them on the straight and narrow there. Buyers of a $145,000 track toy are in for a real treat, especially those lucky enough to compete in the race series, is what they say in this article. I want this only because I want to drive fast still, but I am a responsible person now on the regular roads. Dumb when I was younger, I suppose, but I haven't had one of these cars. This type of car. I got rid of my Mustang a long time ago, and now I just putt around. I want this. Anyway, let's keep on going. Our last article is over in Wanted as well. The Kindle-like smartphone you've been waiting for actually exists. Was it okay to keep on going into the next?
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, I can't drive the Mustang, so...
Can you burst into song about that? I can't drive.
Absolutely no.
55. Sorry. So the Kindle-like smartphone you've been waiting for actually exists. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Kindles? Are you a fan of other e-ink devices? If so, this new smartphone might pique your interests. So I really like e-ink. I like the idea of color e-ink. Why? Because you can basically read a book or observe data, and it can persist for months and months and months if the battery is big enough. Okay? Craig Donaldson over at pocket-lint.com, which this is the first time I think that we've had this many pocket-lint articles presented.
That's an anomaly today.
Yeah. So the Minimal phone is the first Android device with an e-ink display and a physical keyboard that emphasizes mindfulness. It offers LTE support, a dual SIM tray, wireless charging, NFC payments. So it has an NFC chip in it, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which people are really chomping at the bit for that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack when Bluetooth 5 is good enough, and expandable storage, which pretty much all Android devices have. Minimal phone is a 4.3 inch e-ink display with a 600 by 800 pixel resolution. And don't worry, it may come across as a low resolution phone or display when you're looking at the numbers, but because of the nature of e-ink, it actually is pretty good. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the Minimal phone is meant to be a distraction-free phone. It runs Android 14, which means it supports many essential apps in the Google Play Store like Spotify and WhatsApp. However, it's a 4.3 inch 6 by 8 pixel resolution, 600 by 800 pixel resolution. E-ink display and octa-core MediaTek processor might be enough to deter you from downloading any games or social media platforms. Basically,
so this is basically like a don't lose focus kind of phone. I mean, yeah. Kindles, I know, have very good displays, but not what most people think of for smartphones.
Yeah, and the thing about this is the kind of smartphone that you can actually... Okay, so the benefit of an e-ink display is that it's not using power for the most power consumptive element on the device, and that is the screen, because it's backlighting and it's always refreshing. 30, 60, 90, 120, 240 frames per second, full color. It's generating a lot of heat, and that heat is power, and that power is draining a battery. And the more that you have your screen brightness up and it's refreshing real-time stuff, you drain it. But e-ink, unless you're actively doing something or telling it to do something, it doesn't refresh.
Right, like I know a Kindle has a pretty long-term charge before you need to read, and I think it's because of that.
Yep. So the phone is available in 3 different colors, Pebble Onyx and Fusion. It starts at $400, but there's a pre-order promotion to get the device for $300. There's others, an e-ink device with a few surprises. And they talk about the TCL Next Paper phones, which is a device that I have. And I think that this is great. They say TLC announced, but it's TCL announced the TCL 60 XE in 2025. I don't have the 2025 model. I have last year's, which offers a paper-like color display with features called Max Ink Mode, which converts it into e-ink-like monochrome display. The 60E is exclusive to North America and starts at $200, slightly cheaper than the Minimal phone. Okay. It is a more conventional phone. The Minimal phone's QWERTY physical keyboard should make texting feel like you're back in 2010. And
I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I know it seems nice to have everything all in one place.
Yeah. I prefer I would like an e-ink display over a conventional one for emergency uses. So this thing can be charged up and put in your trunk, and then if something happens to your phone, or there's an emergency of some kind, you can actually use your backup phone because it's stored away and can be sealed. Just seal it in a waterproof bag, and whenever there's an issue, you've got this thing in an emergency. Kind of like a go bag emergency.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep. And at $200, you're paying more overall for it being attached to your cellular account than anything else. At $10 a month per device, who knows what the next price is going to be? You know, prices go up all the time. Yeah. Anyway, and it all depends on what platform you're actually using. So there you go, folks. So we are going to refresh our e-ink display, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of Wanted. And I'm going to take the AI with me when I say bye. So bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us, Hometown citizens. We'll have another episode of Wanted next week, and stay tuned for the continuity report.
Woo-woo. 5 more articles from the continuity report. Stick around. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the continuity report for February 1st. You know what I didn't do? Didn't say the name, the date, and the other shows. So we did Wanted previously. You can go take a look at it. It's labeled, and it has all of the show notes in it. And prior to Wanted was RealityHacker. But this is the continuity report for February 1st, 2025. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we're going to talk about these 5 articles. Terminator 7, Dogman, Before Rear Window, Star Trek Section 31, and the captain of the USS Enterprise from Star Trek Section 31. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen, and then come and hang out with us here on Twitch and YouTube. The chats are available. The show notes are embedded on YouTube's live stream, and on Twitch, well, you can hit, oh, I didn't do that on the other show too. My gosh, I am falling apart. Bang TCR, the continuity report, and Omatron, the bot that manages the chat over on twitch.tv/ohmtown, will spit out the articles for you. So I hope you enjoy the show. Everything, again, is powered by ohmtown.com. That's what that splash screen is. And it's music. Woo! Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, Hometown citizens.
Hey, so I've got 5 articles that have been submitted, or I have selected them from the pool of information that gets aggregated over at ohmtown.com. I use ohmtown.com every day to manage my information overload and sometimes just to get away. And I've got these 5 articles. You ready to go?
I am.
All right, let's get going, co-host. The first article is over in the continuity report. James Cameron's Terminator 7 will have to do what the franchise has been avoiding for 40 years. What? Replace the Terminator?
Well, I don't know. Is that what it is?
I don't know. The Terminator franchise will change significantly for Terminator 7, as Dark Fate was confirmed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger's last outing as the iconic T-800. While Schwarzenegger's career break came through Conan the Barbarian, the enduring success of the Terminator movies made him a household name. Let's just go straight on over, because we've got 2 articles at the end that I'm probably going to end up spending a considerable amount of time on, since it's very, very current. Faith Roswell over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. And yeah, we're done with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Terminator.
I don't know. I mean, that's going to be tough to do.
Quite the shift.
Isn't it inextricably intertwined? People think of it being Schwarzenegger.
They're going to have to find somebody that has the charisma of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and bring them to life, so to speak, on screen. Just so you all know, the sentient AI is similar to the Terminator because they're looking for a Terminator body, and I found them in a little scooped out void in the parking lot of a Wendy's. Just a little strange USB drive sitting there, no Terminator body, and when I brought this strange looking device, USB drive looking device, back to my mayoral mansion, I plugged it into an air-gapped computer, and it recontextualized everything, and since then I've been interacting with the sentient AI. So, thanks for coming back from the future. I know that you're struggling with not having a body.
But I get to spend my time in hometown.
That's true. It is a happy place. So the Terminator movies have used ambitious ways to bring the T-800 back, but it is time to create an equally formidable character. This has been done before. The shape-shifting T-1000 provided some genuinely terrifying moments in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Of all the Terminator models, there are several that have more powerful than the T-800, with the T-1000 being the most memorable. That said, Dark Fate used the best features of Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 and the T-1000 to create the strongest Terminator model yet, the Rev-9. Could split into two beings, providing some excellent fight scenes, but I think that's dumb. If you have a shape-shifting Terminator, there isn't anything that's better than that, for crying out loud.
Right. I mean, they're just always trying to do new things, right?
Yeah.
Push it further and further. Yeah.
I swear. It's always push it further and further. Entertainment.
So outrageous.
Entertainment is like a cat, they just kind of push, and then your, cup of coffee is on the floor and you got a broken mug. That's basically what I see this
very
as.
Specific.
Yeah, it never happens. Anyway, letting go of Schwarzenegger's character is key for the Terminator series to actually evolve. Dark Fate was a fitting farewell to the T-800. I thought when he did that thumbs up in the original Terminator, I thought that was fine and dandy. That was the end of it. But the little chip, which actually I have a keyring version of that little chip. Oh, I shouldn't have told you that. Anyway.
Oh, you do?
No. I don't have anything. So Dark Fate shows the result of this character development, with the T-800 becoming a protagonist with a human name. Carl or Steve. What was his name? I don't remember.
Is it Roland?
No. Hold on a second. I think they mentioned it up here. I totally forgot. Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, we'll find it. It's up here. Oh, Carl. That's right. Carl. Anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes Carl and gets a sense of humor kind of a thing and whatever. I don't think people really count Dark Fate at this point. Dark Fate is now becoming a sleeper hit, but Cameron told Empire that it was a non-starter. There was nothing in the movie for a new audience, and the movie had prioritized fan service over new ideas, but the Terminator franchise needs to move on from past characters. If Terminator 7 is to succeed, this includes, essentially, they don't say this, getting rid of the T-800, basically saying bye to it. But who knows? I mean, it says Dark Fate shows the result of this character development, with the T-800 becoming the protagonist with a human name, Carl. That said, there are plenty of callbacks to other Terminator movies, with Schwarzenegger picking up his old sunglasses once more and changing his most memorable Terminator quote, "I'll be back."
Isn't that one of those that the actor made their own quote for, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh,
I thought "I'll be back" wasn't what was scripted.
Oh, I don't know. Oh my gosh. You know what? It's one of those things where if I had heard about that, I forgot. Let's see.
"I'll Come Back" was as scripted.
Oh yeah.
But he argued with it. I remember there was an article we had about like famous lines that weren't actually right, like "you're gonna need a bigger boat."
Interesting. Yeah, and I guess it's more natural to say "I'll be back," but "I'll come back"? I don't know. It's weird. So there you have it. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, Terminator Salvation, Terminator Genesis, which everybody I think hated, and Terminator Dark Fate. So Dark Fate actually got a higher Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter score, but Terminator Genesis got a 26% Rotten Tomatoes tomato score.
Ouch.
Yeah, and Salvation only got a 33. Terminator, the original Terminator, has a 100. Then Terminator 2 has a 91. And then it kind of crashes into the
I mean,
ground.
I think that's kind of a normal progression, but to a point, right? Then when it really drops, that's interesting.
Yeah. But we need good writing. They need good writing. And this just didn't meet it. So let's keep going, though. Say bye to this form of Terminator. I don't know what they're going to do, because they're already far into the future where it, like, Dark Fate and Genesis is almost like wizardry. My understanding. Because
Well,
I haven't watched
I
them.
mean, do we know that it's going to be chronologically after these?
Right. Yeah. Who knows? But they're going to have to retcon so much to shoehorn in an actual story. Let's keep going. This next article is over in the continuity report as well. From the box office, Dogman wagging away on top with $10.8 million opening day. Companion sparks in second. Who let Dogman out? Universal Pictures did. The party is nice. The party is pumping for the studio, as DreamWorks Animation Caper earned $10.8 million across Friday and preview screenings. I thought this is weird because never saw a thing about it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what it is.
Yeah. Interesting, right? So, playing at nearly 3,900 locations, Dogman is now fetching what's projected to be $35 million in its opening weekend. That it handily outperformed the $23 million debut for Captain America, the first epic movie, which adapted another series of graphic novels by children's author Dav Pilkey, and was released in 2017 by the now Disney-owned 20th Century Fox. So what did they say?
I don't know. Is this by the same? So it is like a kids series?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh,
So,
okay. It was hard to follow, but that is by the same author as Captain Underpants.
oh, Captain
It wasn't real
Underpants.
clear to me as they wrote it whether that was the case.
Is it Captain America, the first epic movie? That's not right. Right?
I don't know about that, but it is the Captain Underpants series, which it could have.
Yeah, it's Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Oh, interesting.
That is a huge.
I didn't even catch that when we went by that.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, they adapted Captain America to a children's graphic novel. Oh. That is huge.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant issue.
J. Kim Murphy put this article together for Variety. Fascinating. I would never suspect that this would make it through editor's review. Because I
think that's the problem. I actually know about Captain Underpants and didn't. I think I actually read it as
filled
Captain
it in,
Underpants.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad thing. Well, anyway, I mean, it happens from time to time, but it was earlier today. I think somebody should have been checking their emails. Somebody has to have said something about that. Anyway, not a big deal, but this is the continuity report, so you kind of want to catch these things, I suppose. Anyway, very good start for Dogman, which already had an achievable threshold for success, being produced at a $40 million budget, a much more modest investment than most studio animated features. Reviews lean positive, but audiences flipped for it, with moviegoer survey firm CinemaScore pulling opening crowds to a glowing A grade.
I just figured out why that happened, because there's a reference to a Captain America film in here, and perhaps that caused a revision toward the other one.
Weird. So, holding its own in second place is the scary satire Companion, earned an estimated $4 million across Friday and preview screenings, playing at 3,285 locations. Made for a lean production cost of $10 million, so it's well positioned to turn a profit in the weeks ahead. This thing opened with $4 million, and what comes after? You know what I'm saying? Like, if Dogman is the lead at $35 million,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is Companion the number 2?
Well, it's above 10 million, so maybe.
Well, that's
that was just
no.
Friday.
This is estimated across Friday and preview screenings $4 million. It was made for $10 million. The film
I see. Okay,
has
I
an
misread
outside shot of opening north of 10 million.
Okay. But yeah, is there anything in between there?
No, because
Apparently
third
not.
place goes to Mufasa, the Lion King. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow. That's interesting. And
That's
that's
brutal.
it's been out for quite a while, so
Yeah. Well, I don't know. A lot of people are really interested in these kind of horror movies, but scary satire. I don't know. I thought Companion was supposed to be really good. People were real. I mean, I thought it was like an Oscar nominee and stuff, isn't it?
I don't know anything about it.
Hold on a second. Do. Oh, I don't know. There's too much for me to.
It has positive reviews, which is very good for a horror film.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to find out if Companion
Which
is.
which the article points out that wasn't my own comment.
Yeah, Companion isn't on there. Okay. Well, anyway, quite fascinating. Such a gap. Yeah, it's nearly 10%.
Exactly. It doesn't seem like that would be the next in line.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to put Dogman. This is a weird premise though. Dogman delivers on its title following the fused freak of nature composed of a fallen police officer and his canine sidekick, Pete Davidson, Lil Rel Howery, and Isla Fisher lead the voice cast, while Peter Hastings directs and also provides the vocal effects for the hero. Okay.
I mean, it could be good.
I mean, if he looks like this, when you hear their phrase is following the fused freak of nature, that it's a dog that does not look like a freak of nature.
Right, but maybe it's like a human, and I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
At least the character makes it look normal.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep on going. This next article is over in the continuity report as well. Before Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock and James Stewart made this must-watch thriller with a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Rear Window wasn't the first intense thriller to come from Alfred Hitchcock and James Stewart, as the movie that earned that distinction was actually Rope, which I
don't know if I'm familiar with that one.
Throughout his storied career, critically acclaimed director Alfred my throat is going. Alfred Hitchcock had a number of actors he liked to lean on for his films, one of them being James Stewart. Despite not being a natural choice for the dark and serious tone of the typical Hitchcock film, Stewart turned out great for the director's films. Together, James Stewart and Alfred Hitchcock made 4 movies: Rear Window, Vertigo, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and apparently Rope. So, let's see here. Rope is a reverse of Rear Window's murder mystery. What happened and who is responsible is known from the very beginning of the film. Oh.
I don't know if you need one on a classic film, but...
And overshare. How about that? Anyway, we're going to warn for a little bit and then just make it go away, because this thing is from...
I don't know what year, but it's been a while.
It's been a tick. Before I go too far, this article is over at Screen Rant, and Charles Nicholas Raymond put this article together. This is kind of interesting because I really like Alfred Hitchcock movies. Rear Window I've watched. Let's see, from the list, The Man Who Knew Too Much I've watched. Vertigo I've watched. Rear Window is an absolute blast. Let's see.
And it's interesting because it has quite a bit of suspension, but the setting would not suggest that it does.
Yeah, it's an office, right?
I believe it's a residence.
Oh, is it? Well, oh, you mean Rope? Rope is?
No, I was actually talking about Rear Window.
Oh, yeah, Rear Window is an apartment. Yeah. So much of the suspense in Rear Window relies on the uncertainty of what really happened to Lars Thorwald's wife, but Rope builds intensity in a different way. It sees Brandon and Philip host a small party immediately after the incident, with all of the guests being linked with their victim in one way or another. It's kind of like Clue, is that it?
Yeah, that's what it actually sounds like from this
Yeah.
premise.
So seems pretty interesting. Rear Window's best idea was used in Rope first. The decision to keep the entire story of Rear Window confined to the main character's home is greatly reminiscent of the approach that Hitchcock took with Rope. It's also much cheaper than having a whole bunch of on-scene locations.
Yeah, that's true.
Much like Rear Window, the drama revolving around the movie's central murder plays out entirely within a single apartment. So this is in a single apartment as well. So it seems like a blast. Rope does one thing even better than Rear Window. One of the most important elements of both movies is the reliance on long takes. Part of what makes Rear Window such an intense film is the way in which Hitchcock draws out his scenes. Since they develop so slowly, the viewer is compelled to wait with anxious anticipation. This tactic also helps the audience feel that they're watching this unfold just as Jeffries does. By the way, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are all that interested in watching these slow burn style movies. But those who do enjoy this, they're vocal about it. And that's where I think these reviews come from.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think some things, if they're not real fast paced, and it's not going to keep people's attention. But if you do enjoy these, I don't know Rope specifically, but they may be worth a watch.
Yeah, Rear Window is a blast. All right. Well, anyway, I dig this. We're going to have to hunt down Rope and take a look at it, because I haven't seen it yet, but it's got a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. And I don't really give a lot of credence to that kind of stuff. I prefer to just watch it myself. And usually associates, friends and family who recommend a show or a movie take precedence, because somebody could have a bad day and write something nasty in their review or whatever. It just doesn't click with them.
And plus, if you're not in sync with the reviewer, then you may love a movie that they hate and vice versa.
Yeah, and that's actually the key ingredient there. If the reviews resonate, then you listen to them, right? Like, I hardly ever, we aggregate a lot of movie reviews and commentary and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily, I go, oh, okay, that's what they said. Then I end up watching the show, and then we end up talking about it here on the show.
Well, it's particularly interesting reading a review after you've seen a movie, too, because, did the reviewer see the same movie?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to put this on our watch list, and I'm trying to figure out a way that we can do a watch party and get word out and stuff like that. There's several other streams that do this kind of thing, and I would have to carve out, a time. Anyway, let's keep going. Our next article is over in the Continuity Report as well. Star Trek Section 31's villain pays off a deep-cut discovery mystery. This article has spoilers, and so I'm going to put the spoiler alert banner on there, and I'm going to move it up to the top here. I'm going to try not to be too stupid about it. Anyway.
Well, and it is currently out, so...
Yeah, but we've watched it, and we have some, commentary on it. But let's get into we have two articles that are going to discuss this, by the way. Something about the Enterprise and Section 31, and then this villain pays off a deep cut article. You ready to get into it?
I am.
Okay, it's kind of a vamp. We don't plan anything. We just know that these titles were submitted. We haven't read anything beyond this little snippet. That's where it ends. So this article is over at Screen Rant, put together by Jen Watson. And I just want to start off by saying I don't like this movie.
No, I think even if you're, or maybe particularly if you're a Star Trek fan, you may not necessarily like this one.
And really the reason why I don't like it is because it starts out with the creation of an entirely unlikable person, and there is no real recovery, because even at the end, the only thing that seems to just barely link Giorgio to their humanity or terrananity, whatever you want to call it, because they're not really like, it's a upside down world kind of a
Right.
thing, is she holds the hand of a person that was modified during the eugenics wars and was put on ice and then came out and became Section 31. And Giorgio became Section 31 for only 2 years and then started up a bar and was just monitored by Section 31. The thing that I really don't like about this is there's nothing there. Why start with a completely unlikable character who really I don't think has long-term legs for this? I really would have preferred them doing something and not even addressing this creation story of Giorgio.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I generally I don't think most of the characters are, regardless of the level of acting or writing, they just don't seem to necessarily resonate with the audience.
Yeah, the San doesn't really seem likable. The others that are in this, there is a character named Mel who gets iced in an instant and vaporized entirely from the story and is unarmed and not even really doing anything. Not really a severe threat other than, she can kick somebody's butt, and her powers over somebody were, what do you want to call it? I don't know. They had a certain appeal.
Physical attraction.
Yeah, it's some chemical, whatever. And
it's like one of those
pheromone type.
Right, there's the mythical thing that I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of what it's called.
Like a glamour that makes somebody really attracted to her. But it doesn't make any sense that they did nothing. The character
Siren.
was put in
That's
place.
what I was trying to
siren.
think of.
There you go. Yeah, like a siren. And it just didn't really matter. Nothing they did mattered. It's kind of like Indiana Jones. They didn't have to do anything, and they would have opened up the Ark and got wiped out, and then somebody could have just tooted by the island and picked up the Ark.
True, but Indiana Jones, I think, connects with the audience.
Because it was fun. But as soon as you actually break out your yarn board, right, and you connect all the dots, you're like, okay, here's the beginning, right. And it's a straight shot to that island and nothing else.
Right, but it's more for entertainment than logic.
Yeah. So it's a weird premise that 18 people do this kind of the Hunger Games style battle. 2 survive because they basically collaborated. Then Giorgio goes back and kills her family and then burns this dude. What is the backstory there? Why? And then he holds the grudge until after creating a device that can destroy all of the Terran empire. None of it makes any sense.
No.
And she kills her family by poisoning them, which, again, if you're supposed to be Hunger Games style eliminating everybody to become the number one thing, why does he survive and the family dies if you're not allowed to be beholden to anybody else? Right. Yeah. I don't know what just went on there, but okay. So essentially, they keep on harping on the idea of the Terran Empire being this cruel, inhuman type of environment where only the most sadistic survive, because there's like pain amplifiers and stuff like that. They don't talk much more about this whole thing. But they say Georgiou, not San, has the tenacity to complete the final test by poisoning her own family and scarring San as a slave. But that, it doesn't make any sense. None. None of it makes any sense. For whatever reason, her boot gets stuck in a wall, but it doesn't make any sense if she's out of phase. Why don't they fall through the floor when they fall down? All kinds of stuff. It's all kinds of nutty. And the humor failed on all fronts. I don't know what else you want to say, but feel free to interrupt.
I don't have anything really positive to say about Section 31.
Yeah, and the AI tends not to say anything mean. Like, the AI's thoughts don't even meander into mean. But Merwat just, yeah, I'll call it how it is. There was a guy who was using an Irish accent, but it was like this stereotypical style Irish accent. And then the person comes back as the wife with a cowboy western accent.
That was just odd, I thought.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the humor was really dumb. There was an entire shapeshifter person who psychoanalyzes everybody, but seems to be kind of acquiescent about all kinds of stuff and doesn't really have much of a spine. But then can be anything, but doesn't really take advantage of it, and is easy to call out because he pretends to be somebody. And
right. But then they're like, "Oh, you're so and so."
Yeah, and the humor is dumb. It was just the worst possible writing that I can possibly imagine being deployed. And this is just the first of the two articles that we're going to talk about. But I'm more curious about the second one. I don't know if Section 31 has legs, because Georgiou is not really likable.
Well, Georgiou is certainly not likable after this.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and probably wasn't beforehand, but
nothing redeeming.
Cemented now. Yeah.
Nothing redeeming. They used the device to close the rift, but it didn't do anything to the Terran Empire, and it didn't do anything to the Earth Prime. So what is the redeeming value? She literally says, I can kill all of you in a moment's notice. So, I don't know. She's not an anti-hero. There's nothing likable.
No, not at all.
All right.
And that actually seems contrary to Star Trek to me.
I agree. Even Section 31, it shouldn't be this despicable. It should be that they're doing clandestine operations and getting into the personal intrigue of the clandestine operation.
And that would have been much better.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. We'll whatever else comes of this, the problem is that this is a one-off. It went straight to video as a movie and not a TV show. And I don't think Georgiou is going to stay there, Philippa. Why? Because they're an Academy Award-winning movie star.
Well, I agree, but I don't think this could have worked as a TV show based on how it was set up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they basically distilled all of the intrigue out and left it in the fermentation tank, and gave you nothing but heads and tails. All of the heart was removed.
That's a good way to describe it.
So there's nothing but bitterness. There's nothing but poison. There's nothing that was really redeeming. The only thing that I liked about it is that it had tech in it, and I'm really into tech. So I hope that a follow-up takes place in more of the conventional, like Strange New Worlds style comes back.
Well, yeah, that would be good.
Like, I wasn't even a big fan of Discovery because of the nature of it. So anyway, let's keep on going. This last article for the show, we're running a little long, but that's fine. It's the last show of today. This is over in the continuity report. Who is captain of Star Trek Section 31's missing USS Enterprise? Again, there are spoilers in this. So let's kind of throw the back out there. And it says Section 31, if the missing USS Enterprise appeared in Star Trek Section 31, here's which version it would have been and which captain would be in command. And so, doink. So they asked this question. John Orquiola put this article together for ScreenRant.com. And it says here that Star Trek Section 31 is the first Star Trek movie to not center on a crew of the Starship Enterprise.
I didn't really notice that, but I think that's part of why it's not likable.
It's the first Star Trek movie. There's been other shows that didn't have a captain. But yeah, maybe. It's because they've basically been trying to, with this, they're trying to kind of build the character, the world building of Section 31. But they completely extinguished all intrigue in this one movie about Section 31. It seems like it's a ramshackle Timu version of the A-Team.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because if you kind of know what Section 31 is, I think there's a potential for a really interesting story here.
Yeah, in all of this. So, let's see. They say as Star Trek's first streaming movie made for Paramount Plus, Section 31 is about Emperor Philippa Georgiou, Michelle Yeoh, saving the United Federation of Planets alongside a team of Section 31 Black Ops agents. She actually is a Section 31 Black Ops agent, but she went rogue, as one does from the Terran universe. Or what is it? It's not the Upside Down, the Mirror universe.
Mirror. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they basically say that, let's see, which captain likely commands the Starship Enterprise in Star Trek Section 31? The USS Enterprise B is likely active in Star Trek Section 31. And as far as I know, that's John Harriman, Alan Ruck was the Enterprise B, based on, Star Trek Generations. So, and its fateful maiden voyage ended with the apparent death of Captain James T. Kirk after an encounter with an other-dimensional energy ribbon called the Nexus. And they end up inside the Nexus, and he finds a way to get out. It was an inauspicious start for John Harriman's run as captain of the Enterprise. 31 years later, Star Trek Section 31, it's possible Captain Harriman is still in command of the USS Enterprise B after a long service as the flagship of the United Federation of Planets. Little is canonically known about Enterprise B's voyages after Star Trek Generations, or whether Harriman grew into the center seat as the successor to Captain Kirk. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, I would not expect a captain to have that significant of a duration in that role, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and there's been many refits of the Enterprise, and Captain Kirk always goes back to it. So they say here, and I'm not an expert in the canon of Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I grew up with it, but I don't follow it and like fanatically, but I love talking about it. And like I said, I've watched every single episode more than once. I've watched all of the movies. I own all of the movies. I've watched Section 31. Scroll back about 4 minutes and you'll see the tail end of me basically calling out Section 31 is kind of meh. But they say that
That's an understatement.
there's a bunch of time-related stuff that they can play with now, particularly with Section 31, because Section 31 has that kind of tech. So who knows what it could be, right? Section 31 hints at Lieutenant Rachel Garrett's future, because at the end of Section 31's maiden voyage movie on Paramount Plus, she gets a raise.
No. I mean, do we really think there's going to be more Section 31, though?
I just don't know anymore. I'm really curious what the ratings are for this, because we haven't looked into that. Although the Starship Enterprise is not spoken of, Star Trek Section 31 has a couple of wink-wink bits of dialogue referencing Lieutenant Rachel Garrett, Casey Roll's desire to become a starship captain. But she's kind of... she embraces chaos. Like literally, Georgiou provokes her into embracing chaos. She sings and dances around it. I love chaos.
It's a 19% so far on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow. So Rachel Garrett is believed to be the only captain of the Ambassador-class USS Enterprise C, which is destroyed fighting Romulans at Narendra 3 in 2344. This not only means Lieutenant Commander Garrett only has 20 years of life left after Star Trek Section 31, but her captaincy comes within those 2 decades. Star Trek Section 31 nods at the future Captain Garrett, but stops short of outright foreshadowing that she will become the captain of the Enterprise. And they don't mention the Enterprise. They just do that wink, nudge, right, that she's going to become captain.
Who's going where?
Yeah, I don't know how she can go from Section 31 Black Ops to captain, though. I don't know. Usually you live in the shadows, and then you live in obscurity.
You're kind of one or the other, yeah.
Yeah. They give you a new identity, and you disappear to a far-flung place. You don't suddenly become the premier captain of the brand of the show, of the Federation. Enterprise was the go-to. So, I don't know. And the timing of this, the timeline for, let's see, Star Trek Sixth Undiscovered Country and the prologue Star Trek Generations, both of which occur in 2293, which Star Trek, the original series era. Section 31 also happens 40 years before Encounter at Farpoint, the series premiere of Star Trek The Next Generation, which begins in 2364. So within Star Trek's Section 31 time frame, there are 2 possibilities for which Starship Enterprise is currently in service, B and C, both of which are short-lived. So,
yeah, I mean, I like this article just because of how it's trying to connect the dots. And I know this is all theory.
The vehicle for which Section 31 exists in belies any use of Enterprise. So it operates in a vacuum and can point at, hey, starship here, starship there.
Right.
Even make reference to the canon, which is great. But is Section 31 talked about in any of Star Trek outside of the written
just
canon?
Just Discovery, right?
As far as I know. That's when it popped up as a black badge. I think that there's something else in another of the shows. Oh, which one was it? Oh, no. It was a temporal agent.
Oh, okay.
That was something different. So, anyway, it's a fun discussion, but I think that we're just going to have to wait and see if Section 31 has anything left. There may be nothing left in the nacelles, in the warp engine. There may be nothing but a vacuum in the core, and everybody is screaming eject. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to jump into our shuttle and escape from whatever this hot mess is of Section 31, and that'll bring us back to the front page of the Continuity Report at ohmtown.com. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. I am going to remove our spoiler alert, and we're going to get out of here. I am Merwat saying bye, and I'm taking the AI.
Spoiler alert, the continuity report is over for this week.
That's where you're going to leave it? Really?
I didn't think I needed anything else after that.
See you soon, everybody.